where Tony Stark, where Robert Downey Jr. Hey geeks, welcome to my channel. I'm Trey Guillotine and you're watching Daily Marvels, where I give a few thoughts on some of the daily Marvel news that went on in the past week. Avengers Infinity War is getting an early premiere date. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is preparing for the end. Marvel Comics are introducing a new Captain America, as well as a possible new Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Remember, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it around so others can join in the conversation. It was recently announced that Avengers Infinity War is going to be released a week early on April 27th. The announcement came after a Twitter exchange between Robert Downey Jr. and the Marvel Studios Twitter accounts, where Robert Downey Jr. was basically saying, oh, we should release the movie so all of my friends could see it at the same time. And Marvel Studios said, sure thing, Tony. And they did that. They basically did that. A lot of people are saying that, oh wow, Robert Downey Jr. has a lot of pull to be able to, get Marvel Studios to release a movie early, just because he wants to. I'm saying that was all very staged, and it was all for our enjoyment, and it was fine. But it's pretty exciting that we are getting Avengers Infinity War a week early, especially since this actually cancels out the staggered release that Avengers Infinity War was going to be released all over the world, where some countries were going to be getting it on April 27th and others were going to be getting it on May 5th. Well, now it's all coming out all over the world on April 27th. So I think that's a pretty cool thing, especially since that's one less week we have to wait to finally see Avengers Infinity War. Despite Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. having a pretty strong 5th season so far, it looks like they're treating their season finale as a series finale. Don't jump to conclusions yet. The show hasn't been canceled, but it also hasn't been renewed yet. But I think the fact that the directors and the showrunners and the actors are treating this as a series finale says a lot. That it's probably not going to get picked up for a 6th season. There's something that we've been preparing for a long time, and it looks like it's finally happening. Season 5 has been very strong, but I also think that it might be too little too late to really save the series, especially in the huge phenomena that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It hasn't done enough, it hasn't stayed relevant, it's not relevant to anything in the series anymore. What they intend to do is use the season/series finale to tie up loose ends, to end strong, so that even if they are canceled, that they have a strong ending, that they're not having to worry about loose ends, or hopefully no cliffhangers, and that if they start a 6th season, they'll be able to pick up and not so much leave where they left off, but start a new story with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Part of me has been hoping that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was going to become more relevant now that Marvel TV and Marvel movies were kind of getting on that path to playing nice again, especially with the whole Disney streaming service, and that making it easier for film and TV crossovers. I was hoping that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was going to be a part of that, but again, I feel like Agents of if any of that were to happen, it should have happened by now. And at this point, to make that connection again, it wouldn't work as well. So if the show was canceled, I'd actually be kind of relieved, because it's kind of been up and down. The story has kind of been all over the place sometimes, especially in the last season, where it went from LMDs to the framework, back to LMDs, back to Ghost Rider, back to other dimensions. Literally last season was just all over the place. This season has actually been pretty strong, aside from the most recent episode, which I'm going to have a review coming out exactly about that, or it's already out at this point. If this is the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm glad that they're pretty much planning to go out strong, that they're planning to go out with just a strong story, with things kind of wrapped up, with nothing really left to kind of leave us hanging if the series is canceled. So Marvel Comics is introducing a new Captain America in their Exiled series, and The basis of the series is a team of Marvel heroes are traveling the multiverse, and it's in this multiverse that they meet a new Captain America. And this Captain America is actually going to be Peggy Carter. It's not going to be the Peggy Carter we know. It's going to be the Peggy Carter that's in another dimension or another timeline, an alternate timeline where Steve Rogers actually died in World War II. He didn't just go into the ice. He full-on died in World War II, and now Red Skull kind of rules the world. So Peggy Carter picks up the mantle of Captain America and is now leading like the resistance against Red Skull. Peggy Carter is definitely a character that can embody most, if not all, of the like the characteristics and the symbolisms of like the true American hero that Captain America Steve Rogers was. So I think she would do a great job. I'm just curious if with her picking up the mantle of Captain America, or specifically this character of Captain America, if she would also take on other enhancements. Steve Rogers was, obviously he took the super soldier serum, and he was an enhanced fighter. He had enhanced abilities, he had enhanced strength, speed, reflexes. So I'm wondering if the same thing would have happened to Peggy Carter, or if Peggy Carter is just going to be Peggy Carter as Captain America, which honestly could probably work either way. She's as skilled of an agent as Black Widow or Hawkeye would be, so she could clearly hold her own as Captain America. But I'm wondering if becoming the character of Captain America, or becoming the hero of Captain America, she would go through those kinds of enhancements. But Marvel Comics aren't the only one that are seeing a new Captain America. It looks like that we might be getting a new Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sebastian Stan recently let slip that when he was hired on as Bucky, they told him basically what the plan for Bucky was, that he was going to be Bucky, and then he was going to be a Winter Soldier, and at some point down the line, he was going to pick up the mantle of Captain America. Well, given that we have Avengers Infinity War coming up, and Chris Evans actually only has this and Avengers 4 left on his contract, which hasn't been renewed yet. It very possibly could be renewed before, but when it ends and he does more Captain America movies. But as it stands now, Chris Evans only has this and Avengers 4 left on his contract, whereas Sebastian Stan actually has a few more movies after Avengers Infinity War left in his contract. So it's very possible that we could be saying goodbye to Chris Evans as Captain America, Steve Rogers, and we might actually see Bucky pick up the mantle of Captain America. Bucky is definitely a different character than Steve Rogers, even from just the very beginning when we first met them and they were just kids in Brooklyn. Where Steve Rogers was the underdog, the kid that was standing up for himself, Bucky was definitely like the playboy. He was the popular one. He was the playboy who, was getting the girls, and he was, the good soldier before Steve Rogers was. And then he definitely took a dark turn as the Winter Soldier. I definitely think that kind of redemption story for Bucky, which, is something that's already started in Civil War, and even the end of Winter Soldier, this redemption story started for him that we're now seeing kind of come to full fruition with his, getting his mind fixed in Wakanda, and, just no longer being the Winter Soldier, but being Bucky, being himself. I definitely think he could. I definitely think he could meet the expectations of being Captain America. The thing I don't think would be so easy is the rest of the world forgetting the Winter Soldier. After Winter Soldier, when they basically dumped all of Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D.'s files onto the internet, people know who the Winter Soldier is. They know that he's an assassin. They know that he's an assassin that has drastically changed the world's events for Hydra's favor. Whether they cleared his name or not, people still associate him with the bombing of the UN that we saw in Captain America Civil War. So I don't necessarily know that the world is ready to kind of forgive and forget and accept Bucky as Captain America. I think that would definitely be an interesting story to see, where, he tries to be Captain America, but the they're just not having it yet, and he'd have to really step up and do something big to really to find redemption with the rest of the world, to find redemption with America, because he's definitely seen as the villain by the rest of the world. So a lot would have to change, a lot would have to come out, and he definitely have to step up into that role, which I definitely think he could. What do you think of these daily Marvels? Let me know in the comments and follow me on all the internets. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it around so others can join in the conversation. If you want to check out all my written reviews of Marvel TV shows and movies, check out www.treyguillotine.com and subscribe to my channel to geek out some more. Thanks for watching and have fun.